morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Michael for CorvetteForum.com, and today I'm going to tell you why the new 2020 C8 Corvette is the American Ferrari. First, we're going to talk about the Corvette's new LT2 V8 engine. Wait, hey, where's the engine?
It's in the back, Daddy.
Oh! Now, for those who aren't Corvette history aficionados, let's go back a little bit to the late 1950s, early 1960s. There's a man named Zora Arkus Duntov working for GM and working for the Corvette program. Now, he didn't invent the Corvette, but he's largely responsible for making it go faster. He's the guy that argued to put a V8 in it. He built a mid-engine prototype. He built race cars. He did a lot of amazing things for the Corvette program. But getting GM to say yes to a mid-engine Corvette, unfortunately, wasn't one of them. Flash forward many years later, and the Corvette engineering team is working on the C6 ZR1, which was the first supercharged Corvette. They end up with a 52% weight ratio over the nose, 48 in the back, and they realized that traction was going to be an issue. So the future of Corvette, in their minds, it became mid-engine or bust. Now, of course, the economic collapse in 2008 and GM's bankruptcy forced the C7 generation to become front-engine, rear-wheel drive as well. But since the C6 ZR1, the Corvette engineering team has been planning and hoping to finally build a mid-engine Corvette, and here it is. Moving on to talk about our particular Corvette. This is a 2020 Corvette Stingray Convertible, aka the Hardtop Convertible. Now, the Coupe also does have a removable Targa roof, but this one, you press a button either on the key fob or in the door, and you can raise and lower an actual hardtop roof that folds into a compartment above the engine. Speaking of which, that's a 6.2 liter, the LT2 V8 in this configuration, making 495 horsepower, and it's putting power to the ground with an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which is, to oversimplify things, it's effectively an electronically controlled manual transmission. There's no third pedal, but it'll shift by itself like an automatic transmission, or you can use the paddle shifters that are mounted to the steering wheel to select your gear. And it's much faster than an automatic and manual, and it's a great transmission technology, and all the new supercars have this technology. Moving on, the standard vehicle price for the 2020 Corvette Stingray Convertible is $66,400. This one adds the 2LT trim level package, which is $6,800. That includes a premium sound system, heads-up display, a performance data recorder, heated and cooled seats, and a bunch of other nice features. This one also adds the $5,000 Z51 Performance Package, which is going to cost about $1,000 more for next year. The Z51 Performance Package includes performance brakes, performance suspension, a performance exhaust, which bumps the horsepower up to 495 from 490, performance rear axle ratio, the electronic limited slip differential, the rear spoiler, and Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, in addition to a heavy-duty cooling system. We're also going to throw in GT2 bucket seats for $1,495, front lift for $1,495, carbon flash painted nacelles for $1,295, bright red painted brake calipers, and torch red seat belts for $395. Put it all together with destination and delivery, and this particular car costs $84,570. Now, since all C8s, they all have removable tops, you might be asking yourself, is it really worth $7,000 to be able to press a button and have the top come down? And that's obviously going to be a decision that you make for yourself, but let's go over kind of the main big differences. So the Coupe obviously has a manually removable top that you can put in the trunk. The Coupe weighs 102 pounds less than a similarly equipped convertible, and because of its back lines, it has this clear panel in the back, and so that means you can see the engine bay. You also get a slightly larger trunk, a couple extra cubic feet of room kind of tucked along the front. Now, the convertible, I think, wins in the looks department. It looks like a fighter jet from kind of the 3/4 angle and into the back. It's a very, very attractive design. It's also a little bit more user-friendly because you don't have to worry about taking the top off and putting it in the trunk, and then you lose your trunk space. This just makes it a lot easier with the one button impressed. Also, the convertible has more headroom, we found out, about right above where the seat headrests are. There's 2 extra inches of headroom, which might be helpful. Overall though, choosing between the Coupe, which is a target top, and the convertible, which is also a hardtop, it's really a choice that you have to make. For me, I ended up falling in love with the convertible. I love its looks, I love the ease of putting the top down, and I love having that rear window that you can put up. But this is just a beautiful, stunning car, and if I got a chance to buy a C8 generation Corvette, this is the one that I'm gonna get. It's awesome. So why do I think that the C8 Corvette is America's Ferrari? Well, it's a combination of 3 things, actually. It's the rareness because of so many factors in 2020, but GM was only able to produce 20,000 when they were hoping to make 50,000 of these things. It's got these classic mid-engine looks that evoke Ferraris. You know, when I was a kid, we had Ferrari and Lambo posters on our walls, and this thing kind of looks like that. And at the heart of it, it has an American power plant, the LT2, putting out up to 495 horsepower. So classic American small block, even though it's the very modern one with direct injection and all these things, in the heart of this mid-engine car that evokes classic European mid-engine styling while keeping in the cues of past Corvettes and all the little Easter eggs that are around. So it's got that beauty, and you've also got this cool factor. And let me try to describe that to you guys. It's crazy driving around the C8 Corvette. Everybody looks at it. And people ask you questions. They roll down their windows at lights.
Oh, is that the new Corvette?
Or the people that aren't car people, most of them actually genuinely mistake this for a Ferrari.
Hey, is that a Ferrari?
No, it's the new Corvette.
Oh my God, that's the new Corvette? That's amazing.
It's a really, really popular design. Does everyone love it? No, there are people that prefer the C7 and older generations, and that's their choice, that's their opinion, that's great. But this thing is turning a lot of heads. It's a remarkable car to drive around. Feel like a really popular person, even though they're excited about the car, not you. The only thing I don't really like about the C8 in terms of its cool factor right now is that I haven't found an OEM wheel option that I love. My favorite wheels on a Corvette right now are like the C7 Z06 wheels, kind of the black one. I'm just looking for something that with a little bit more aggression, and a lot of aftermarket companies are certainly stepping up, but I hope that GM keeps expanding their wheel line. But other than that, this is one of the most beautiful cars that you can buy in 2020, 2021, and I'm sure for the next few years. It's a cultural phenomenon. Welcome to the interior of the C8 Corvette, which is a fantastic place to be for both the passenger and the driver. This is a 2LT. These are the GT2 bucket seats. Very well bolstered and very comfortable to sit in for a long time. I spent several hours, going on some road trips around the Los Angeles area, and I'm never tired of sitting in these seats. They are heated and ventilated. The ventilation isn't the coolest that I felt. The infotainment system over here is excellent. It's very well thought out, very easy to use. It's got this tactile volume switch, hit a tactile home button, Apple CarPlay, really easy to set up. All the HVAC controls here for your seats and with the passenger. Down this pillar. Over here you get the camera in the rear view mirror, which helps to see when you have the top up. Now with the top down in the convertible, that's one of the things that you lose. The camera is actually mounted to the top and it goes into the engine bay area when it's not in use. Up here you've got your mode dial, which you can toggle between track, sport, snow, your My Mode. The Z Mode button is here on the wheel. Over here you got your traction control button, your front lift button if equipped, and your front camera button, which is fantastic for being able to park against curbs. I love the gear selector buttons here. You pull up for reverse and drive, you press the manual, the neutral, and the park button. You've got a couple cup holders here, which is really nice. A small little cubby here and where you can plug in your phones and store a phone, or they've got a wireless charging system back here. Now there are 2 kind of negatives about the Corvette interior that I've experienced so far. The first is just a concern with these GT2 seats. We're already starting to see some wear and tear on the side bolstering, and that's a shame because this car only has about 1,500 miles as I'm recording this. And the other thing, with the C7, you can just throw stuff behind you. There was a lot more kind of grocery space in this and that. So the interior cabin space, even though it's nice and roomy for the passenger and the driver, is down in terms of being able to put some. But the good news to that is that while there's less space than previous generation Corvettes, I would argue that this is one of the most ergonomic and spacious mid-engine cars that are available now, between the frunk space and the, you know, the Fit 2 golf bags in the actual trunk space in the back. Beautiful car, one of the coolest cars, lovely interior, but none of that really matters unless the Corvette can drive well. Now, what's interesting about Corvettes is anytime the Corvette engineering team sets out to build a new one, they have to basically make it good at everything. So that's why Corvettes are track monsters. They need to go fast in a straight line, they need to go around curves, and they also need to get reasonably good gas mileage for all the people that use these things as commuter vehicles. And I'm here to say that the C8 not only does all of those things well, but it's the best handling Corvette of all time, which makes it one of the best American sports cars of all time. Certainly the best one that's ever cost $60,000 for that base entry-level coupe version. Even with the extra 102 pounds from the hardtop convertible mechanisms, this car is nimble and light. The sight lines looking out of the windshield are amazing without the long hood. That's gone. With all the weight over the wheels, you can feel that you have all the traction to zip forward with the Z51. It's the fastest Corvette to 60 ever. I mean, including from the C7 ZR1, which had 750 horsepower. So this design is a revelation, and it's going to be the future of Corvette. Now, I do have a little quibble about the experience, and most of that comes from the fact that the exhaust is a little on the quiet side. I've mostly been driving it in track mode, that gets it the loudest, but you really need like a tunnel to kind of wake this thing up and to make it roar. I suspect you drop a Corsa exhaust or Magnaflow or whoever. I just heard Fab Speeds yesterday. It's a brilliant. Oh, yes. So with an exhaust, this thing wakes up and sounds the part. Outside of that, the only other question I have isn't necessarily, this is not a criticism, and so pardon the hot take here, but sometimes when driving this car around, with the way it looks, with the way it handles, because it's all exceptional and I love everything about it, but sometimes it's a little bit weird to be roaring through the gears and having it shift at 6,500 RPM. A couple months ago, I got to drive the Shelby GT350, and you rip that thing all the way to 8,250 RPM. It is one of the most amazing car experiences that you can have. It's this kind of like race car feeling. Now, the rumors are saying that the C8 Z06 is going to have a flat plane crank engine, which means it's going to rev past 8,000 RPM. Some people have said 9,000. I have no idea, but what I do know is that if GM puts a flat plane crank engine in it, it's going to complete the package in a way that I think will be so exciting and so amazing. Am I saying that the LT2 is a bad engine or that pushrod engines are bad? Heck no, I love them. I'm about to swap an LS3 into my 1992 Buick Roadmaster wagon. I'm a big fan of small block Chevy engines and their descendants. So, amazing driving experience, and I can't believe this is the base model. It's just going to get better from here. All right, guys, wrapping things up with my executive assistant. Hi, everybody. This is the base model. This is the entry-level model, and it's already exceptional. So I'm just so excited for what's going to happen in the future, what's going to come with the Z06, the ZR1. We are going to see some amazing things in the next few years, and I'm so excited for it. And even though this car is already great. So the hype is real. Beautiful interior, beautiful exterior. Everybody's looking at it. It's got the cool factor, an amazing driving experience, the best handling Corvette of all time, and there's nothing like it in the $60,000 or even $85,000 world.
Kids, you can always sit next to your parents if a car just has 2 seats.
Yes, it's one of the best things. If you have a kid who loves cars, The C8 Corvette is another reason to buy the C8 Corvette. It's just that amazing. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are well and safe. Please like, subscribe, share, do all those things. Please join us on Facebook, Instagram. Join our forums. In fact, if you join our forums and you get our premium membership, you will get one of these amazing t-shirts. But anyway, I hope you all are well and safe. We will see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye. I think it came out. The focus is still on me.
Let me see.
Woo!